If you make any sort of EDM or bass-heavy music, I got good and bad news for you. The bad ones are you can shove 80% of mixing advices up your ass. But the good ones are you don't need lots of plugins or any secret sauce of Grammy-winning engineer to make your mixes loud, proud and punchy. But only if you ain't scared of using. So now let's listen to this. I won't show you the meters yet. First, go straight to the comment section and tell me, does that mix sound particularly bad to you? If your answer was stop the loudness war, then feel free to click off this video right now. No harsh feelings. I'm not here to tell you what to do or change your music taste. But if you like the sound and see nothing bad with levels like those, then let's get down to the business. Make friends with short and punchy kicks and proper sidechaining techniques. Here's how my kick and bass sound and look together now, and let's just say I want to clip them together by, I don't know, maybe 5 dB. So let's push the ceiling down on this clipper. And as you can see, there's no significant change when it comes to bass, but my kick obviously gets clipped. But chances are you don't have this type of carefully manufactured volume shaping. So let me just switch to regular generic sidechain curve, which 90% of producers do. It may sound okay right now, but watch what happens once I apply the same amount of clipping to this signal. As you can see, now not only the kick but also my bass gets clipped, and that's the reason why your bass sounds like trash once you want to push your track louder. Well, at least one of the reasons. The second is turn your bass down. I know it's a little bit counterintuitive as we speak about bass-heavy music, but do yourself a favor and listen to your favorite tracks. So once you set up your reference track, which in my case is here, I can then go to my master chain and check the level of my bass. So here is my one, and once I change to the reference track, so it seems like in my track the bass is peaking at around minus 6.5 dB. Once I change to my reference track, it's a little bit hotter. Obviously, the easiest way to do this is just to go to my bass group and turn it up a little to match my reference. Yeah, it actually seems fine to me. There is also a thing about sound selection, but I know you want to hear about those clippers. Subscribe. Well, that was weird. And I know I said no secret sauce here, but that's kind of a hard one here. Clip as little, but as many times as you can. I basically have clippers all over this session. Here is the one on my vocals, which is doing like minus 2 dB of gain reduction, even less. Obviously I have one on my mid bass group, and as you can see it does like minus 1.5 dB of reduction, and then another one for drums. And that's basically for the same reason as with bass before. I'm making sure that there are no significant peaks to trigger my master clipper with. Just to clarify, I'm nowhere near as advanced as my recommendation if you want to dive deeper. I watched most of Bathymetric's videos, and let me tell you something. It's a gold mine when it comes to techniques, examples and scientific proofs that clip to zero methods won't hurt you and simply works. Now, if a year ago you would show me red lighting on the master here, I would panic and ask you to turn it down instantly. But people's change as they gather knowledge. It ain't analog anymore. In digital age, you only need to worry about not clipping your main output, since it can ruin your quality. But other than that, feel free to do whatever you want before the safeguard I have here. But before I show you which one I use, let's trigger analog lovers more. Since after this whole clipping thing, I also have a EQ, and it's a basic one. I'm only shaping the tone with it. And after it, I'm saturating this thing even more. I'm currently on a free trial of this crafter thing, and I'm on the fence of buying it. So if you made it here, I really appreciate your sweet watch time. First thing first, I'm not affiliated with any plugin company here. I bought those with my own money. And if you like to invest your ones wisely, then definitely check those two from Newfangled Audio. So the first one is called Newfangled Saturate, and as the name suggests, it's not a saturator, it's a clipper with a little bit of saturation. So that's my mid-bass example, and obviously to clip it and push it a little bit to zero, I'm adjusting the input. We can now turn it to zero so you can see what I was doing here. Let's push it to clip it. With this slider, you can decide the shape of clipper. Is that going to be soft or hard? But for bass heavy music and EDM genres, I always use hard clipping. The coolest thing about Saturate is that it's very transparent, and for the price that it's currently on, I think they run some sale right now or something. It's a bang for a buck. So the next one is called Elevate, and I highly suggest everyone to use it instead of Pro L or any sort of industry standard thing, because this thing has limiter, clipper, and some transient shaping options here. So the clipping and limiting part is pretty self-explanatory, although it has a EQ, and basically you can trigger each band. You can obviously change the amount of those bands and how many you want to have, and you basically can trigger or untrigger your limiter with any specific frequency. But the real fun starts once you start using the transient part. So as we know, clipping shaves off a little bit of your transients, but if you want the specific ones to be punchy, you can just dial them here. And as you can see, for this mix, I pushed those transients a little bit more in this area, and also the hi-hats and cymbals part. And you know what? It kind of sounds even better with transients emphasized to 100%. I love this thing. An honorable mention, GM Audio Clipper, Max for Live device. In fact, you saw me using it all over this session, and if you ask me, it's a good place to start. But as for right now, I think it's at the same price or very similar price to newfangled devices. So it's up to you to invest your money wisely. And that's basically my whole mastering chain. 3 plugins without any unnecessary ones. In fact, those only look cool or distract you to make some differences only you can hear. And the cool thing is that I don't need to stress that much about my mastering because I took care of things inside the mix, so I'm only brightening or pushing things even louder on my master. Your chain can also look like that.